Greetings, YouTubers. It's me, Wayman29, and I see Jesus Freak has a video out, Creation Explained, and unfortunately, he gave a lot of people some ammo to work with here. People need to understand is this is the evangelical view of how the world began, and not all Christians view it this way. To me, as a Christian, my interpretation of the first and second chapter of Genesis, the first chapter was written after the second chapter. In the second chapter, you see Yahweh seemingly trying things out, fumbling around a bit, not getting things exactly right. In the first chapter, which was written by a priest, probably after the exile, the writing, some scholars believe, it was basically a sermon on why one should keep the Sabbath holy, because Yahweh rested on the seventh day from all his work, so you should. Genesis 2 is a part of Hebrew, primeval story, account, was made for the Hebrews. It's a Hebrew text explaining how the Hebrew race, or the individual Hebrew race, were started allegorically, metaphorically, symbolically, from the hands of the God, their God himself. And their God, Yahweh, breathed into the man, or Adam, and sometimes scholars get the man and Adam because they're interchangeable, and there's play on words, a word pun there, mixed up, which is interesting. The man, breath of life, and the divine counsel of Yahweh said, "Let us go down and make man in our own image." So that's the explanation of creation. Unfortunately, the story has been adopted by many different belief systems with many different theologies, and applications have been put to it that totally skew the original intention of the account. And doing this to ancient literature is very it does a disservice to it, unfortunately, because it goes right over everybody's head when you try to prove something like this is true. It's not meant to be that way. And science should be embraced, and at times it does a disservice for Christians to try to be scientists and come up with alternatives that are lacking, and it also does a disservice for Christianity. Christianity is about allegory, the metaphor, and following the teachings of Christ, because it's the metaphor and the allegoric value that transcends time. Not if something was real or not if something can be explained, not if something isn't in tune to the type of theology. There are no references to the creation story being part of the Gentile or the non-Jewish race until the Apostle Paul applied it that way in his writings and in his theology that at times are different from the teachings of Christ. So, that is a 4-minute and 33-second explanation of creation.